Tonight on Localite, John sits down with Scott Green to learn about the new skate park in the Dalles and the plans that the Park and Recreation Department has for Thompson Park. Scott has spent his life working outdoors and in the parks. That's all next on Localite.
Scott Green, good to have you in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, let's start with you're the head of the Wasco County Parks and Rec.
That's correct. I'm the director.
The director. So what exactly does that mean?
A whole array of things.
Yeah.
Well, we have a district, a special district here in northern Wasco County, which really is pretty much the city urban zone.
Okay.
And we do go outside the city a little bit on like the trail system, but really what I'm in charge is 9 parks, a swimming pool, and a proposed 10-mile trail system down by the Riverfront Park.
Okay. So you manage all of that.
We do. Yes.
All right. So one of the big things, one of the most prominent things as far as by our studio is this new skate park.
That's right.
So let's talk about that. That's been how many years in the making, getting the fundraising together? And
about 4 years.
About 4 years.
And towards the tail end of 2005, we had a kind of a makeshift outdoor wooden skate park in the same park, but further back behind Safeway, actually.
Oh, all right.
And it was really falling apart, a lot of injuries, so we removed that and started our fundraising shortly after that. So about 4 years ago, we started fundraising, writing grants, donations, you name it, until we were able to finally raise the funds.
So the old park just kind of became obsolete, was not really sort of in disrepair and not really worth putting money into?
That is correct,
okay.
Right. And an outdoor wooden skate park, it was designed to last 5 years. It lasted 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So who was kind of influential in spearheading the new park and its placement versus just replacing it where it was existing?
That's a good question, actually. In 2006, we did a survey and asking folks to kind of show us or at least request what they'd like to see. One of the top 5 parts of that survey was a new skate park. Oh. And so that was really high on the board of directors list to do. So we started researching where that could be done. And at one time we chose Howell Park, which is a small neighborhood park, to do that. And we had some town hall meetings, and the residents around that area really didn't like that idea. So we continued our search until this position, or this place right out here, came available. It's just an underused area that was for excess parking, hardly ever used. Great location to view by everyone.
Okay.
And so that's how that position came out. And we did the same thing, town hall meeting, and we did not receive any opposition.
Wow, okay. Well, you had mentioned earlier a little bit about sort of how, what you're responsible in your position. So is the skate park actually belong to the city, or is it part of the county, or is it this sort of special district that you spoke of? How does that work?
It's very confusing for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
So we are a special district, which means we're not affiliated with the city at all, or in Wasco County. So we are, it's called Special District Association of Oregon. And there's 300-400 special districts in our state.
Okay.
Some of them are Parks and Rec, some of them are fire, port. In fact, our port, the Dalles, and our Mid-Columbia Fire is a special district member as well.
Okay.
So that's where we fit into.
All right.
So in 1984, the district was formed. Prior to that, the city ran the parks. So a lot of people get confused about that. But in 1984, the district was formed by a vote from the community, and that kind of sets our boundaries. As about 14,000 people in our city, give or take, and we have roughly 8,600 folks in our district. So it does not encompass the whole city.
Okay. So then the location of the skate park, which it's actually, is it Cherry Heights? Is that what it's considered? Is that the street it's on?
The side street there is Cherry Heights Road, yes.
Cherry Heights Road,
Yeah.
okay. So having the view of it, you can see from the freeway and stuff like that, that wasn't all part of it to sort of have any attraction, or was it?
It was.
It was?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of thought went into this. We probably went for over a year with a committee looking at what kind of design we should have in cosmetic, what it was going to look at, because we know that it's going to be very visible from the freeway and people coming by the Dalles. We want something pleasant to the eye. People are going to see, presumably, kids there skating, which I can tell you right now, that will be what's happening.
Yeah.
So we wanted that pleasing, the view at. But then we also really wanted something that was going to work. And our committee was formed with adults and skaters, young skaters alike, had their input on this. There's streetscape and invert skate, and we tried to do a hybrid park, which has a little bit of both in there.
Okay. So you've got sort of the bowls, and you've got or ramps, as maybe they're referred to, and there's the rails, and all of that is very much intentional and has a purpose.
It is. It's all intentional. There's a lot of different elements out there that I could go over, but one of the elements is called a quarter pipe, which it has coping on top, and it kind of designed to not just be a straight wall. We have phase 2 designed for behind that quarter pipe for a bowl. So we actually don't have a bowl in there. We ran out of funds to do that. So we are prepared to write more grants and do more fundraising to have phase 2, which would be a bowl. We want to do a waterfall bowl, which really just kind of teeters down as shallow for different age groups or different intermediate skaters or beginner skaters.
Okay. So that's definitely in the plans.
It's in the plans, yes.
Just got to get the money for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So speaking of money, what did the park cost to put in?
Construction cost was $230,000.
Okay.
For this, which actually was a pretty good deal. We set out RFPs nationwide, giving a cost of what we were willing to spend, and looked for a design built. And we received several back. The closest to the north, California and Seattle were our closest neighbors who submitted a plan. And the committee ended up choosing a company out of California, Spawn Ranch, who we then began working with a design to meet our needs. So construction cost $230,000. Engineering cost was probably about $15,000.
15?
15.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to just kind of talk about skate parks in general. It seems like there's more and more and more of these, and I know we have at least 3 in the Gorge, Hood River, Bingen here, and there might even be a few others. So there's a reason for these, and we'll talk a bit about that. Okay. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
After the break,
looking at the cost and getting the feedback from the cost and the size, we decided to make it more of a seasonal instead of all year round. The first one was an all year round aquatics through the winter, through the summer. We decided to make that seasonal, so just no cover, which really brought down the cost a lot.